Why do you think that there isn't more communication in that field? And why is it that, this holistic side of things, this tailored approach to really customize a plan for someone, why is this considered so taboo even in today's world?
Well, I think if you're following an insurance model, you are not given, if you want to be a provider with an insurance company, let's say Medicare, for example, you're put on a time frame on how long you can spend with each patient. So you're not necessarily able to make the right decision. I wouldn't, no, let me take that back. Not saying the right decisions. You're not able to make a decision that might be the best for the patient.
Mm,
You are making a decision based on the insurance model. The insurance is telling you, hey, if you want to get paid, you're going to spend this much time with a patient. This might be the medications we want you to focus on if they have these signs and symptoms. And it's get in there and get there and do it. So it's in out of the room, that type of thing. With someone who practices functional medicine, it messes up the insurance companies on how they want to think. They don't want you to spend that much time with a patient. They don't even know what the right codes are in which to be able to say, I'm going to practice functional medicine on Mrs. Jones. We've tried regular Western medicine and it has not worked. So now we're going to try this other approach. Mark Hyman, you familiar with him? He's an
yes, I am.
MD. Okay. So he has come to the other side. He's a functional medicine doctor and he has no problem preaching about, hey, let's get your body working better and let's make sure that there is a place for MDs. I am not saying that at all. There is a place for them, but why can't we all work together? He works with Cleveland Clinic and he does not take insurance. Why is that? Part of the thing of being a doctor is we want to be able to help patients the best we can and not being limited of, oh, I cannot order x-rays on Mrs. Jones because the insurance doesn't like that. Well, Mrs. Jones, you need an x-ray before we can proceed. Well, until my insurance okays it, then we can't do it. We can't move forward. Oh my goodness, that just doesn't make any sense to me. If you need a freaking x-ray or MRI, you need to get it done. And there are places out there that I help my patients all the time and they'll say, my doctor won't write me a script. Can you help me? 100% I will help you. You'll have to pay cash for it.
Hmm.
But it'll be way discounted because of the difference between insurance and cash. But we've got to get you feeling better. I cannot see through your bones. I need to have that other information. I actually got, or I wasn't going to admit this, but I'll admit this now. I was not a good candidate as a provider for some insurance companies. Back in the day when I first started business, I thought I have to be a provider for insurance. How is anyone going to find me? So this is in a different state. So I was working with some of these groups that would have several different insurance companies underneath them in the umbrella. And they would say, okay, well, we need to have an interview with you to see if you're a right candidate. And they would say, what would you do with this patient? What would you do with that patient? I gave them all my answers and they said, you're not a candidate for our insurance platform. I said, thank you. But my first thought was, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And then I thought, wait a minute, the insurance does not determine what kind of doctor I'm going to be.
Yes.
Insurance is not going to determine how I'm going to treat my patients. This is a blessing. And so that's when I started going into that. I can't be on that insurance company because they don't understand, why I'm trying to get a patient to do XYZ or why I'm having a patient come less. But I refused to do certain things. Like I wanted to make sure I took x-ray on a patient if they came to me because I would do an exam and then I would determine if they needed an x-ray. If they need an x-ray, I'm not moving forward with any treatment until I get an x-ray. Why? Because I need the x-ray. Okay. And they'd say, well, go ahead and do treatment. No, my whole thing is I'm going to do an exam. If I determine they need an x-ray, they're getting an x-ray. If you're not approving an x-ray, A, they can't be a patient, or B, they have to pay cash to get the x-ray so that I can do the x-ray. And they didn't like that. They said, you want to do x-rays on every patient. And I said, unless they bring one into me and they're having a problem and I'm checking for subluxations, 100%.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we don't want to do that. We don't think you should do that. And I said, well, who are you to determine that patient needed an x-ray or didn't?
Yes.
When I was in school, I had a girlfriend who was a few years ahead of me, trimesters ahead of me. And in clinic, you have to work on patients. And so everyone's always worried about, where am I going to get my patients, where I'm going to get my patients. So they usually start with family and friends. I didn't do that. I was like, my family and friends are not going to be the ones in my practice when I get out, right? I need patients who need my care, not people when I say, oh, I need to have an adjustment. Oh, I need an x-ray mark. I don't need that. So I always went out and found my own patients. But so my girlfriend was ahead of me. And so her dad was coming in to visit, and he was complaining of a neck injury. And the first thought is, oh, come here, I can fix that, right? Oh, come here, let me see what's going on. Let me palpate. And I looked at her and I was like, no, don't do that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And she says, well, he was in a different state. She says, well, he's coming in to be one of my patients for clinic, but the appointment's not until tomorrow. And he starts complaining about this neck injury or neck issue. And I was like, don't do it. This is what we say to, we would be saying to our patients, just don't go someplace and have them start, working on you until they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
it's like a mechanic taking your car apart without actually understanding what the problem even is.
I'm just going to go buy this, not even know if I can really need it, right? And so the next day they went to clinic. They had to go through the issue with clinic. Let me back up. Is what we're learning, and it takes forever. I remember we'd have to do an exam, and they'd take 5 hours. You have to do one part, go out in the hallway. The clinician would have to check you, mark it off, go back in, do the next part, and it was just like, oh my goodness. But it actually is a good thing, because you have to learn the different steps in order to get everything done, to get a thorough exam. She finished, got the exam done with her dad, took an x-ray. He had an anomaly on there that, had she adjusted her father, she could have paralyzed him. And I look at that and I think, that's all I need. That's what happened to me when I was still in school, that I saw that and I thought, never will I be that person that says, oh, come here, it's okay. Oh, I know you. Come on over here. Let me start adjusting you. Never, never, never would I ever do that.